Good morning all, this is my new project and car. It's a 318 IS E36. I know it's only a 4-cylinder, but it was cheap and it's pretty cheap for me to insure. So I'll just walk around it quickly. It's standard completely as I bought it, apart from this monstrosity. That's going to be going because it just sounds like a fart cannon, but the plans are to make it into a sort of race car or drift car, being with the welded diff, but mainly just want to get a lot of weight out of the car. It's a pretty standard interior, bit messy, but that's all getting stripped. Manual, the most important thing. I did want a 328, but the prices of those are ridiculous and they're never anywhere near where I live, so didn't really want to travel. I'll show the M44 actually. Nothing special, but just to see what we're starting with. If I can find the flat. Yeah, so 4-cylinder. It is slightly better than the 318 because it's an M44, so it's dual overhead cams, 16 valves, so puts out about 140 horsepower when new, so not too bad. It's got this messy intake, I don't like very much, but just have to deal with it. And let's get starting to strip it. And also forgot to mention, in terms of options, I'll show a video of like looking up the VIN and saying what options it has, but main ones are, I think it's got M Sport suspension, this M Sport wheel, and quick tip if you're ever looking at E36s, not very useful maybe on a budget one, but if you're looking at something nice like an M3, if you take the seats, the bench out, and find this thing, this is the build sheet and the options are all coded down here. It's the same result as looking at the VIN, but for people that like originality, this is quite a cool thing to have. Yeah, so here's the Vin Decoder. There are quite a few online, but the one I like to use is bmwvin.com. It's as simple as entering the last 7 digits of your VIN, and then we can see 318 IS, obviously, M44, the colour. I think that's quite a rare one. Don't see many of those. And then the all-important options. So the only ones that really stick out to me are the wheels. I don't actually like them very much, I want some BBS's, and the M Sport suspension and steering wheel. So it did actually come from the factory of M Sport suspension. It tells you what each of the options are, which is quite cool, so you can check them against your build sheet. And also these options, which I think must be standard with coupes or something, or ISs, because the free load system, you don't normally get that on a saloon, it's an option, whereas this is like a kind of default option for a coupe. And you did get traction control on this model. And yeah, like I say, plan is to build it, strip it out, definitely on a budget, and I'm really aiming for under £1,000 all in, just to get started. So let's get down to stripping it. So just before I get into all this, I will point out I'm not a mechanic or anything, just a novice. I think the hardest thing I've ever done is take an exhaust off or change brakes, so there will be quicker ways of doing things, but I'll just do it the way I know. So first of all, just going to get these seats out. Pretty easy, as you know, just 4 bolts. But these must weigh quite a bit, so it'd be interesting to see how much they weigh. Because I'm so obsessed with all the weight reduction, I'm going to try and weigh everything I do as I go along and just put it in the corner of the video how much deduction I'm making. So that's all the bolts out and the wires disconnected. There aren't many wires as it's not a heated seat or anything. And now just pull it out. It's a bit heavier than I was expecting, but let's see. That's pretty heavy compared to a bucket seat. Glad to get it out. So that's both seats out. Looking better already. Rear bench. What's that held on by? Oh, it's just catching. There we are. That didn't weigh as much, nowhere near as much as the seats, but we'll get it on screen. Get these out. These panels. This carpet, I think that's going to be the hardest part. The plastic around the centre console. Door cards. Yeah, we'll go headliner as well. All the trims. And stuff in the boot. See what happens. So door cards are really easy to remove. Just these 2 caps here. They expose 2 Phillips screws. One thing I'd say is, if you ever get the chance to take a car apart and not care about putting it back together, do it. This is the first time I've not had to worry about it, you know, losing screws, not breaking things, and it's so nice. Just not a care in the world as long as it comes off. Put this down. Oh, that's nearly ready actually. Come on. Okay. I forgot to undo the pins. Just like that. So, not the best methods. Probably ripped the things off the speakers, but who cares? Don't need speakers when you've got a stripped out race car. Right, onto the back seats. This is the only tricky bit I had to look up really, with everything done. You need to start from the middle basically, and I know I've taken it off, but there'll be a clip here. Just pry it off. If you don't want to break it, just be careful. And then, I've already done this side, but you'll still get this exposed, and you basically, I'm trying to get the camera here. This thing, I can do it with my finger even. This is the latch, so you just need to push this up, do it left-handed, through the middle, so get a good, and then that kind of closes the gap, so I'll do it on this side. Just get under that. This one's a bit stiffer. There we go, that's off. I should just pull out now, but I need more strength. Yeah, so with 2 hands, job done, and then you just swing this out by pulling. Again, 2 hands, there you go. And they're ready to go. Just leaves the boot now, headliner, and this notorious carpet. Oh, on center console. Onto the boot now. There should be a spare wheel in there. Oh, this is one thing I forgot to mention. I haven't checked the toolkit yet. It feels a bit light. Right, so I've got the toe eye and a 10mm wrench. Fair enough, better than nothing. I don't care, it's not like a collecting car, but it's normally a good sign if that's full. Right, so don't need these. I think someone had an amp in it, because you can tell by these wires. I'm not sure if those speakers are aftermarket or genuine BMW, but they're coming out. Spare, it has got a spare. So this in itself has got to weigh quite a bit because it's a fair size rim, so that'll come out. Get all this carpet plastics off, this liner, and see where we are. Right, so making really good progress. Rear of the car is done, so all the carpet and trim, sound deadening's out, speakers are out, nothing else left to do here. Keeping this little box because it's good for storage, but other than that everything's out. This is pretty much the extent of all the stuff that came just out of the back of the car, beyond the seats. And next is just the carpet, console and headliner. Let's do it. So as you can see from all the waste, car's pretty much fully stripped now. Can't believe how much weight I got out of it, it's quite impressive. Still a bit of, I know it's dark, there's a bit of carpet left there, but other than that, pretty happy with it. Headliner's out, and I'll do a full drive of it and see how it feels.